Hi everyone, I'm Gigi of Gigi by Design, your favorite transformation coach, here to help you master your mindset so you can design your destiny one thought at a time. If nothing else, I want to be raw and real with my community because that's what I built this channel for. I'm here to be vulnerable, share my experiences in hopes that maybe I can help you too. Now, I've been struggling for depression for probably the last 20 years or so. I'm 36 years old, so that's a long time. And I always prided myself on not wanting to use medication. Now, I never judged anybody for using medication. I thought it was great. If it helps them, so be it. But for whatever reason, I wanted to try and handle it on my own. And I think that's just an innate part of my personality. I always want to do things on my own. I don't want to ask for help. I don't want to feel like I'm a burden to somebody. And recently it just got a little too much for me. It was impacting my day-to-day life. I had no energy. I was losing interest in the things I cared about. And so I made the very conscious decision to start taking medication. And I realized that I don't need to tell anyone. I don't need to share this. But I think it's important because I completely changed my view on it. And now I see it as just a part of self-care. Just like you would take a supplement or a vitamin or anything else, why not take something to help your brain? And that was a hard pill for me to swallow, pun intended. I wanted to kind of share my experience with that because it was a big change for me. I was really worried about whether or not it would impact the work that I'm doing. Would people take me less seriously? Because I am a mindset coach, and would people see it as a cop-out? Not that it matters, because no one's opinion about your personal health should matter, but these were kind of some of the self-doubts and things that were rolling around in my head. I think part of the reason, too, why I was so hesitant to get on the medication was because I glamorized struggle, and I think that message is built into our society. As someone who's always been kind of entrepreneurial, being a struggling artist in any endeavor is just kind of commonly accepted. We think that we have to suffer in order to be happy or to achieve our goals or to reach a certain level of success. It requires hard work. We should be grinding away, and that's why we have hustle culture and things like that. And while I do think hard work is required, I think we should stop glamorizing making things more difficult than they need to be. So when I made the choice to get on the medication, I realized that I'd really been glamorizing my struggle. I'm stronger than this, I'm better than this. And it's not about being stronger or better than something. It's about realizing when you need help and being willing to ask for it and being willing to receive it. And luckily for me, I have a super supportive partner who kind of recognized what was happening and was really there for me and supported me through that hard time. And typically I could hide from that. When I lived alone for a long time, it was so easy for me to hide from those tough feelings and just isolate and cut myself off from people, which is exactly what you shouldn't do if you're depressed. But it's kind of this weird, chicken or the egg thing, right? You don't want to go out and socialize, but socializing is what's going to help you feel better. And so you avoid socializing and then you just feel worse and X, Y, and Z. And so when I realized it was having that level of impact on my life, I was like, you're right, something needs to change. And I had to be willing to accept that help, though. I could have kept going on the way I had been going, but at a certain point, you just realize that it's not worth it. And if there's an easier way, why are you making it harder on yourself? On this spiritual journey, you are going to struggle. It's going to feel hard in the beginning, but don't do things that are going to make it harder on yourself. I know a lot of us try and numb out when we feel pain. It's human nature, whether that's through drinking or drugs or sex or TV or shopping. We all have our own vices, every single one of us. So it's important to not lean on those things because it ultimately will make things harder for you in the long run. You have to put in the work. You have to be mindful. And the thing is, I'm not using this medicine necessarily as a crutch. I'm doing it in tandem with my mindset work. I didn't stop doing that just because I started taking medicine. And I think that's something important to realize too. They really should go hand in hand, whether you're doing medication and therapy or medication and mindset work, or continuing to work on your self-improvement and not expecting a pill to make you happy is what's going to affect positive change in the long run. Because if you pop the pill and you're not doing the inner work, yeah, you'll feel baseline level happiness, but you're not going to address those underlying root causes of why you were feeling bad in the first place. It's almost like the tip of the iceberg, the glacier, right? Like the medication's up here, it's helping you feel better, but what's below the surface that maybe you've been ignoring? And I do think medication can help you get there because it can kind of soften some of those intrusive thoughts and things that might be getting in the way from you doing the actual work, like it was for me. I would spend so much time like spiraling out or being sad that like I couldn't ever get to that next level, that level deeper, because I was too caught up in the mental headspace up here. And what's been really helpful for me is journaling and to confront those intrusive thoughts head on with logic, which I know sounds oversimplified, but when you have beliefs like, I'm not worthy or I'm not deserving, well, what proof do you have of that? What evidence do you have to support that? And sure, you could come up with excuses of why you're not those things, but there's so many more reasons why you are. And that's what you need to focus on, whether that's listening to affirmations all day long, if that's what you have to fucking do. I've started doing that a little bit, at least at nighttime or when I'm meditating, because your brain is in that relaxed state and it's much more easy for your subconscious to absorb those messages, whether that's rewriting it yourself, because the physical act of writing also helps embed it into your mind as well, whether that's doing yoga or moving your body. And one of the other things this taught me too was to honor my energy. So your energy is going to ebb and flow, some people's more than others. Mine was very like up and down. I had moments of creativity and joy and excitement, but then it was immediately met by like a downward turn, and sometimes the downs lasted longer than the ups did. And that's when it started becoming detrimental to me. Focusing on your energy levels and learning to optimize it and not being too hard on yourself. Stop trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. What I mean by that is I kept trying to force myself to be an early morning workout person. And through certain parts of the year, that works. In the summertime, when the sun's coming up early and I'm naturally waking up early, sure, no problem. If my energy is there, let's do it. Let's get it out of the way. But I was trying to carry that pattern with me into a new season of life. Now it's winter, things are cooling down, we're slowing down, like animals are hibernating. This is meant to be a time of reflection, and I was being really hard on myself for not having the same energy I had in the summertime. And I was trying to force myself into doing things that didn't feel right for me. So when I took a step back, I'm actually grateful for this like low period, I'll call it, because it forced me to get more reflective about what makes me feel good and trying to incorporate more of that into my day. So rather than trying to do these hard hit workouts at 5 a.m., I shifted to doing more Pilates in the afternoon when my energy felt up for it and I felt good afterward, and it didn't feel like such a struggle to get there. I picked something that was close to my house. And once I got into the habit of doing it, I started to look forward to it, and I started working out for the joy of feeling good, not for trying to achieve an end result. So if you're going through these low periods, it could also be that you're trying to match your energy level from a different season or a different period of your life. And you're allowed to ebb and flow, and you're allowed to change, and you're allowed to try new things. Sometimes it is good to have a structure and a routine, and sometimes it's helpful to just take each day as it comes and to build your life accordingly. There are definitely certain things I want to do every single day, but the time at which I do them can fluctuate based on how I'm feeling. But as long as I get them done, I feel like I'm moving towards my goals. And I will be coming out with a course or a guide soon on how to build routines that feel sustainable to you. It doesn't have to be a morning routine. It doesn't have to be a night routine. It's just ways to build routines and habits into your day that feel aligned with your energy, because that's been a huge takeaway for me. So again, I just wanted to pop on here and give you a little update on what's been going on with me. My hope is to be posting on here more regularly now that I'm starting to get a little more aligned or attuned to my new energy levels. I hope that this resonated with you, and if you want extra help, I just launched my 21-day bold action blueprint, which is designed to help you create a 21-day action plan to help you get unstuck no matter what area of your life it's in. So feel free to check that out in the link below, or send me a message. Let me know what you want to learn more about, any topics that you're interested in, and I hope to see you soon. Take care.